Welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. In this video, we are going to discuss about the real coding interview questions asked in real interview. So, whenever you attend any interview, after the basics questions and the advanced questions, the programmer is asked to write a Java code where he will be given a problem statement. Now, in this case, the person attended the Virtusa as a company interview. Now, he was asked to write a diamond pattern program, so he was asked to write. Now I'm going to explain you each and every steps with respect to how you can solve this particular problem, what approach you need to take, what kind of loops or logic you have to apply. I'm going to write this particular code in the live so that you can understand each line by line why it is written and for what purpose it is written. Before jumping into the code, I would like to show you what exactly the diamond pattern looks like. So if you have already seen, there are two triangles. If you see at the top side triangle, there is a bottom triangle, but ultimately it is forming in the diamond shape. So this is how the pattern, where the interviewer asked to write a code so that it can print in such particular format, and he wanted to know the approach how you can design this. I will tell you the exact logic in a minute. In order to solve this particular problems, there are two aspects of it. There are two things which you have to think in like that. So one is the top part, how we can write, and what how we can write the bottom part. So in this way you need to write a logic to print the numbers in this particular format. So here the input would be given, and from that particular hierarchy or the number, the it should print in that many lines and that many diamond characters over there. So if 5 is given, so 1 2 3 4 and 5. So if you see, this is the 5 line diamond problem. So here actually the input is given as 5, and this is generated as an answer to the question. So in this way you have to prepare that. I've opened a diamond pattern example over here. In this particular main method, I'm trying to add one scanner over here where it will take the input of that particular number, and based on that particular input number, we are going to write this particular top and the bottom logic over here. I will tell you like what exactly why I'm writing those particular code. So let me start writing this particular code, because first we need to iterate that number of times, how many times the number is given. So first we'll try to iterate with the for loop, that is the first part. So here I will go to int I. I will try to explain you all that particular line by line. Now I'm writing this particular code over here. So I'm trying to n. So n is the number which is given as an input over here. Now here if you see, I'm going to print that many times over here. Now let me try to print this for you. So just to go into the next line. Now under this, I'm going to write one more for loop, which is going to print the leading spaces. Now if you take a look at that particular pattern, at the first line you will see a lot of spaces because it starts with the number one, and then based on that number one, it is going to the number of stars it will be printed. Now in that case, I need to have that particular leading spaces added over there. If you take a look at this, now I am trying to print. So here I won't be using the print ln, I'm going to only print that particular value over here. Now here, as I mentioned, I will be adding the space over here. So let me try to run this and see. So just to see how it is going, actually let me type some junk character over here and try to run and see how it is running. Now let's say I have given 6. Now you see, these are the 6 number of lines which has printed for the for loop. So this way I'm trying to initially build that thing. Now under this, if you see, I'm trying to print that space that many times. Now we'll break that. Now then comes I'm going to print the number of stars over here. Now for that particular logic, I'm trying to add here. Now here, this is going to be okay. Now if you see, I am going to print this particular, again I'm going to only print that particular value, and now in this case I'm going to print the star over here. So let me try to take a look at this. It is going to print in this way, so that this is the upper part of that particular program. Now there are two cases. One, it can be that the n number whatever I've given is an odd number, or it can be an even number. Based on that particular logic, we have to change this particular second half part. So here, till now if you see, we have achieved the first part where I'm trying to run this. I'm trying to, I will explain you this particular line by line, whatever it is, but let me first finish this particular code. Now, for this particular same, almost same logic would be applied over here, but there will be some tweaks I need to do here. Now, here actually I need to change this particular n minus 1 over here, because it will start from that particular biggest number, and then I have to reverse this in this case, and it is going to be the 1, and then it is going to be the minus of that. Now in this case it is going to uh, so it is going to be the 1 over here. Then I'm trying to print that particular things. So here actually what I will do, n minus 1, that is correct over here, j is equal to 1, n minus 1, and this is going to be exactly same, so it is going to print that. So there is no change in this particular thing. So here everything is same, but here if you see in the k, I'm going to make some little bit changes with respect to that as well. But yeah, there is nothing a change over here actually. Let me try to run this as it is now and print it and see. Let's say, yeah. So I think, yeah, it is printing correctly if you see. Now here actually I just had to change this particular line of the, in the reverse order over here, and this is going to be in the minus order. So that's the reason it is printing. Now let me try to explain you line by line what I have done here. Now if you take a look at this, the outer loop whatever I'm trying to print here is going to take iterate from 1 to the that number of times. So each iteration it is going to go for a new row number over here. So in this case, that particular row, let's say if it is the input is 5, it will go for the 5 lines. Then if you see this particular logic, where I'm the first inner loop whatever I'm trying to run, the logic written here is going to print the leading space as I over here is going to move in the increases. I will increase and then it will move down in that particular row. So it is going to n minus 1. So it is going to decrease that particular thing. So meaning there will be fewer spaces as and it is going to print here there, and it is going to create a triangular shape. So from the top there will be more leading space, and then until it comes to that particular n number there will be no space left out, or in that case. So that is the way it will form a triangular alignment over there. Now then comes, I'm trying to print that particular logic of star over here. Now this is the second inner loop where I've written this star. The formula is 2 into I minus 1, which is going to ensure that the odd number of that particular stars are printed. And also, now if you see, this is n minus 1. So let's say the first iteration is 1. So 2 into 1 minus 1 is equal to 1, it is be printed. Then let's say the second iteration, then 2 into 2 is equal to 4, that is minus 1. So in the next row it will print 3. So in that case it will grow and print that particular thing. So it will check out for that particular odd numbers of things to be printed up. So in that way it will form a circle like that. So as the number of stars is going to increase it in the each row over here. So that is how it is going to print in that case. So that is about the first part of this. Now let's look at the second part. Now here everything is almost same. Now here if you see the outer loop over here, Here we are trying to iterate from n minus 1 over here from the start, that is going to down to the number 1 over here. Now this is just going to start from just the row before the widest row, which was the last row, so that it is going to avoid the middle row. So if based on the odd number, it is going to decide that, and it is going to go from the top to the inverted reverse. So like how we have done from the single star to that particular star, the biggest stars, then here from the biggest star to the smaller star it will go, and it will go in the reverse order. So that is what the logic is about inverted pyramid, I would say. Now in this case it is going to print the space and the application, like how the upper half has been done. Only the but the value of that I is going to decrease in this case instead of increasing as it was in the first step. So that's all. That was the logic which we was required to write this into, convert this. Now let's say if I'm giving 10 over here. Now you see it is going to give you that. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now this is the middle row over here. Now let's say if I am giving an, this is an even number. Now let's say I'm giving 9 as an odd number over here. Now you see this is going to be the given odd number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is how it is going to print in that way. I hope I was able to explain you the example in a clear way, and what kind of logic you need to apply, and how you can segregate and break that particular program to achieve this particular pattern over here. If this video was helpful, please share it with the needy people. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.